initial visits that were done, part of the intentions of those visits were to get money from the international body. We don't want to tell ourselves the truth. These monies are not going to come until we meet certain conditions. Some of those conditions they had forced us to meet halfway, like the FX policy thing. It's a big issue. We may touch it briefly today if time allows. It's a big issue. You can't go to borrow when you are not clear about the structure of your currency, local currency to other currencies. And let me also advise that a country that wants to go for such amount of borrowing will be doing itself a great disservice if it borrows to convert at 305 when the actual rate, when every other price is moving at the rate of 490 or 500, you get your money and you waste it, convert it at 305 and get less naira than you can ordinarily get. You are killing yourself, you are shooting yourself in the leg. If at all you're going to devalue, and clearly Nigeria still has the devaluing thing hanging around our neck. And until we do it clearly, we cannot boost investors' confidence. So if at all, and I'm certain it will happen one way or the other, that we're going to devalue, it is always more beneficial for you to devalue before you borrow. So that when you devalue and borrow, you get the maximum benefit, naira benefit from the foreign debt, and enable you to fund more projects and improve your capacity to pay back. It will be very unfortunate and suicidal if we now insist on the 305 with ceremoniously agreed that is our rate. We insist on it. We borrow and convert at 305, and then when we are going to pay back, we find that we have to buy this dollar at 490 or something close to 400 to pay back. It's going to be disastrous.
But Mr.
So these are big issues.
The country needs to borrow.
There's no doubt about it. I've said it in this studio. I've said it in other platforms that borrowing is the easiest thing. Borrowing is also important to come out of recession, but under what circumstance are you borrowing? We are borrowing an economy where in 2016, the fact now, not the proposed budget, we spent again almost 85% of the whole budget on the current expenditure. That's the structure we have in this country today. And trust me, 2017 has an intention to do 30-70 capital to the current. But the way we are structured, we can't achieve that. If a system is totally inefficient and very problematic, you have to deal with the problem before you can bring about efficiency. Now, the way we're structured, the civil service structure, the government structure itself, the policies that we have, the amount of bills that we pay, our lifestyle, the way we run our government, the structures, how much we spend in the Senate, National Assembly, and the executive government, that structure and the payroll that we have, multiplicity of roles of government MDAs. We have more than 600 MDAs, some of them duplicating their duties. In fact, they are also becoming demons to our business structure because you have different regulatory bodies attacking few businesses that are existing, taxing them, looking for one fee or the other to fund their lifestyle, and the businesses are dying, and government is looking to continue their lifestyle as usual. As long as we have this big expenditure profile as a nation, every loan we get in must stay enter there. And that's why IMF and the rest of the creditors are saying, give us your clear plan, how you are sure that this money will actually go into the real sector of the economy that create the capacity of the economy to export, to produce what it eats, and be able to stand on its own. And trust me, that plan, if the global financial institutions are very serious about their plan, I expect that they must insist that Nigeria must deal with the FX wastage before they give that loan.
It's good that you've talked about the foreign portfolio because we have a $1 billion euro bond planned for this month. And then there's also going to be a diaspora bond planned for by the end of this first quarter. How do you think this is going to affect it? Now, if the Bretton Woods institutions like the IMF, the World Bank, and of course our own dear African Development Bank, if they foot drag or they show some reluctance in lending to us, that will definitely worsen our risk profile and the perception about our country. And whenever you talk about bond issue or bond purchases, your risk profile is critical to the amount of money you are able to raise, i.e. the price of your bond. If your bond is seen as a junk bond as a nation, it will be deeply discounted if at all you find people who want to take them off you. So it's going to slow down the sale of that bond, it's going to affect the price of that bond, and it's going to make the bond most likely unattractive, and making the process of getting that money very costly for us. And these things, instead of maybe raising maybe an extra amount, you can raise 40% or 60% of it, and you still have to pay over time. So
we need to deal with, now, I don't know how, maybe we're coming towards the end of this program. Let me say that there must be leadership, reorganization in this country. There must be serious reorientation, attitude changes in government. Focus on national interest, not on tribal interest. Policies that work for Nigeria, not for the East, for the West, for the South. We need to bring leaders together, for national government, the legislature. Everybody has to come together at this point and forget our differences. How does this country, what formula can we use to make this country move forward? Beyond the interest in Niger Delta, interest in Southeast, interest in Northeast or North Central, how can we enable this country, this organism called Nigeria, survive? Because the way we are totally epileptic, we are cancerous, and we have the ineptitude within us to make nothing work as things are. If government is going to borrow to give infrastructural contracts the way we normally do it, consultancy, you release the fund to somebody who doesn't even have any single scale in that area, who will now sublet and all of that, that whole money will go down the drain. I insist that a plan that will include concession, just like Lagos is trying to concession the Okokomaiko to Semeboda Road to private entities. If it's done well, we should mimic that kind of thing on all national projects to reduce the burden on government to fund these projects. Give it away. Provide a legislative framework. Give all the rules to ensure that foreign investors will have confidence in going out here for 20, 30 years on our infrastructure. Concession it. We are willing to pay these tolls. If I have a bridge connecting Lekki and Ikorodu, I will follow it and pay the 200 naira or whatever and reduce the stress and panic in this country.
So 2017 seems to be a very deciding year.
It's going to be a tough one.
It's going to be a very serious deciding year for Nigeria.
Until clear steps are taken.
Well, next month, according to the Vice President, the National Economic Recovery Growth Plan of the administration will be formally launched. And then, of course, the markets will be expecting the listing, the issuance of the $1 billion Eurobond. And we'll keep our eye on those stories along with you. We're
a prayerful nation. May God help us.
Well, Mr. Oji Demuzwe, economic analyst, thank you for your perspectives on the program this morning.
Thank you very much.
Well, Business Morning continues after now. Stay with us.